Hey y'all, just waiting for y'all to join. I am so sorry I'm actually 3 minutes late, but you know what? This time I'm not sorry because it takes you all a few minutes to join me every time anyway. But super excited to be back live tonight. Oh my God, my trainer, the famous Siddharth Sunal, has actually graced my live with his presence. How could I be so lucky? Tell me, sir, how could I be so lucky? To be honest, I never get this lucky. Manik! Mwah. Okay, so now I can't blame Manik for like missing my live as he often does. And that makes me Rudhvir, and my guest of honor tonight has joined just a little bit too early, so you're gonna have to wait your turn while we have a few more people join us. But I'm glad we've been promoting for a couple of days because I have been a little silent and a tad disorganized, but nowhere near as disorganized as my guest tonight. So yeah, you know, the prettier they are, the more disorganized they are, and so on and so forth, right? So I just redeemed myself. Praveen, good to see you. Lava Rocks, great to see you. Karthik, it is a pleasure. It's been ages since I've seen you guys. I feel like it's been forever. See, stories don't count because it's kind of one-sided. It's just me talking and, you know, I don't hear back from you guys like immediately. I mean, I get DMs, but there's nothing as fun as a live. So I am ready for my guest shortly, and I'm just getting a little prepared because he's a man of many talents. As you know, this is not our first episode, so he always gives me a whole lot to talk about, and we always find it hard to keep it to 1 hour. So just getting prepped, but yeah, I think we've hit capacity. So Rudhvir, I'm going to go ahead and invite you. You are looking quite fit and handsome these days, so I will give you that. I do feel bad for your furniture and for the doors in your house because you seem to be sort of taking out some kind of vengeance on them lately. So I'm going live here. Oh my God, I am so glad I made it. I'm so glad I made it. I've had such an insane day.
Hi,
Hey,
Anjali.
how are
How are
you?
you?
I am very good. Good to see you. So
So,
glad to
how's the
see you.
extension treating you? You look beautiful.
Thank you, thank you. I do try. I have a hard act to follow today, as with you breaking your furniture and stuff. Nice body, by the way. I had to go out and say it. I had to just go out and say it. But yeah, so extension, you know what? I just feel like it's more of just last year, and it's not, you know, I think I'm beyond feeling anything. Like I'm just numb at this point, to be
Yeah,
honest.
it
And
feels normal now.
I mean, you know, like it's not pleasant, but it's almost not even worth griping about because there's no
I
end
agree.
to that.
Yeah, I mean, life goes on, right? I mean, the better you are with moving on, the better it gets. I mean, then you really don't care about what's going on outside.
Yeah. So guys, so we have a lot of people who are obviously very excited to see you and hopefully me. But tell me a little bit about all these things
Let's
you've been
see
up
you.
to. So you just moved. You just moved, right? Didn't you just
Yeah,
move?
I've just moved to my own place, so
So I
it's
wanted to
been.
hear about that. That's very exciting. Does that mean we can visit
So she's
without
my only
being
company here now.
chaperoned? Oh, oh,
She's good company though.
I bet, I bet, I bet. Name?
Panda. I mean, look at her. Doesn't she look like a little panda cup?
She looks like a little panda, and she's obviously a woman of the future because it's a
Yeah.
unisex name, which makes it a very progressive choice. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
then
a
see,
panda
sometimes
could
I
be.
ask myself, I've named a dog after another species. It's not really a
No,
name, is it?
I mean, it's you. You know what I'm saying? I can see it. I can see it. I can see it.
Well,
I
fine,
think
she loves
panda
it.
makes sense.
Yeah, every time you keep saying Spanish, she turns around and she's like, wait, somebody's calling my name. They're not here. What's happening?
Seriously, I can't tell you, but I don't know if you've noticed this, but my dog,
Huh?
whom most people have
I've seen
seen
a
on some
lot
of
of
my
your
reels,
stories of
a
yeah.
lot of my stories. So his name is Bronx. So he was, and there's a story behind why he was named Bronx because we got him the year I moved to New York. So When my parents came to drop me off, I never lived in the Bronx. I lived in Manhattan, but still, I think my dad got lost on some train ride and landed up in the Bronx, and he just loved that name, so he named his
It's like
Bronx.
my dog got me named Bronx now.
It's not random, right? But I find puppies and dogs and stuff on Instagram are so much more viral than we are. So it's just like
I know, and they're doing a damn good job.
right? He hits
The
like
other
1K
day,
in like a minute.
yeah, I mean, it's crazy. The other day I saw this dog and this lady, like, I mean, she put out this meme. It's actually doing yoga along with her and it lifts its little hind limb and it's so cute, it's adorable. And it's so well trained. It's unbelievable that, the dogs are able to do all of this.
I know, no, I mean, I think there's just something about them and they're just super viral. So you just have to hashtag. I mean, I just feel, I would put a video of myself and then put hashtag dogs of Instagram, but I think that would just be going a bit too far. But whenever you put the dog hashtags, they just like go nuts.
You go viral immediately, yeah.
So we've got, I had a few of your followers and fans say that they were super excited about the live today. So I'm going to go ahead and I have a ton of stuff to ask you, but I'm going to go ahead and jump into the whole list of things that we were talking about. But before we get there, I do want to know what the motivation is, since this is a topic that I knocked off our list. But I do want to know what is the motivation behind the whole shredding situation that's going on. Tell me.
I don't know. I think it's more like everybody has a form of release, right? I mean, everybody has an addiction. But it's like this, it's more of a mental release and it's honestly it's so much more satisfying after you've worked out, it's a very rewarding feeling, it's just like when those endorphins release and everything, it's purely getting high. But in the healthiest way you can. I mean, in a way that nature intended you to.
Yeah.
You see, adrenaline junkies are no less, but that's the motivating thing, sometimes I really don't feel like it, but then I think, okay, listen, man, you get through today. Tomorrow you'll feel glad, like tomorrow you'll be happy, like, what, even if I can do it on a day I feel like that, I can do it on any day.
Yeah, but I do have a question about your walls and doors and stuff. You know that you're like majorly raping them, right? I'm sorry guys for using that word, but like they're not gonna last, okay? Like that,
No,
whatever's going on.
I buy all these things which are very, so whatever I use is resistance bands, right? They come by like with this door anchor. So most of the weight goes into the threads, so nothing really happens to the door or the window. I hope.
I've been very anxious about your like new place. I'm like, it's going to collapse on a day.
So far, so good. I don't feel anything shaking.
Not yet. But how long has it been since you moved? How long has it been since you moved?
It's been a week and a half now.
Yeah, so you must be loving it because I remember when I moved into my own place, like is this your first, but in Delhi, did you live alone?
No, yeah, in Delhi I lived by myself, yeah. I had my own place there, but it felt temporary there, because I knew I was going to get out of there at some point and I was college and stuff like that. But then now it just feels more like finally it's my space, like it's an incredible feeling.
Yeah,
feeling happy, it's a nice feeling.
I mean, I'm waiting for the invitation. Otherwise, I'm just going to land up because it looks like you've got a lot of good energy around you in that place. And with that, I kind of wanted to jump in.
You're most welcome. Let this lockdown shindig get over and we'll have a housewarming party.
100%. I'll bring the pizza. So but I do need us to jump into the burning topic of the day, which was about balance. And this is what we kind of went into the last time, but we obviously did get carried away. I know our chemistry is it's very like that. But we wanted to definitely talk about balance because this is something that I struggle with like to this day. And you'd think that after like so many years of, I've been working like officially for 9 years now and like, and transitioning careers, but like, and being in fashion, but people always think that, and this is funny, but I can go ahead and say this. I always have these models messaging me, right? Saying, saying, can we shoot? They don't understand that my essential job is not to sit and find models for a shoot. Because I actually manage a P&L, so it's a business.
No, the fashion automatically is just synonymous with modeling, right?
Yeah. So they think that, I must be sitting there looking at photos on a daily basis. I said I worked in menswear I started my career in menswear. Like obviously Indian Terrain is, it's a family business, but it's also been a publicly listed business for several years now. So it's not, like a shop.
Like Indian Terrain,
You know, so it's like and I started my career there in PR, and as you know, I've been doing e-com
Like,
and
what
moving into
are real quick.
retail and doing retail and stuff. But like I do enjoy that everybody thinks that I was on Instagram to like literally find male models. And I always say, please message the handle. It will go to the right person who will vet you, and then so on and so forth.
Maybe
I
you should
literally
mention that in your bio now. Please don't contact models. Please don't contact me.
see, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that also. Because, what if there's a model who doesn't want to be featured, who's actually like attractive and
You
has
never
a
know.
face
You
and all
might,
that?
yeah, might just miss a diamond or something like that, like me.
Right? Right? You are like much beyond that. You are much beyond that.
Thank
So
you.
we were
Very
talking
flattering.
about.
Yeah.
I'm always, because in fact, I was talking to our dear friend, and now I'll go ahead and release his name since I have his permission. Sunil and I were talking the other day, and he
Uh-huh.
was like, you're going to die laughing. I was telling him, I was like, Sunil, I'll do your Insta live like, the week after. I'm really busy with, planning one with Rudvir,
We
and
should
I don't
get
know.
him on ones with us.
We should. And he was just like, listen, you please don't tell me about Ridvir. I am the one who introduced him to you. I was like, oh, I forgot. I like literally forgot. And I'm telling him about how I have a live with Ridvir. He's like, listen, you jerk. I was the one who introduced you. I was like, oh my God. And he's
And
like, you
he's
poor
given me
girl.
this amazing opportunity now that I'm not able to get through because I don't have I'm not able to put in the application because I don't have the necessary photos. And when I take them myself, they just don't, they don't fit the criteria. This doesn't seem professional.
Really?
So,
I think there are some people who are doing shoots through online, but you know what? I don't know the quality and generally what comes out. But you know what? Like, let this whole thing pass. I don't think anybody
yeah,
is
that's what I'm
producing
also being
anything
advised.
worthwhile. See, the thing is, there's no money in the system. Okay, there's no money in the system. So even people who are telling you they're producing, unless you like, kind of follow that money trail back to see if it comes from a legit place,
It's,
that shit ain't gonna get made. Okay, or it's not
yeah,
gonna see.
it's quite terrible what happens usually.
Yeah, so it's hard. It's definitely hard for actors, but like I wanted to kind of jump into what generally we were talking about the last time, which is being a lawman. I did like the whole lawman and thespian. So it's very sexy.
I'm
It's
sorry, I'm
like
sorry.
you
The
put
lawman.
lawman and the thespian, right? See, actually
Yeah.
that's what I think is the nicest part about you. You know what thespian means. Most thespians in this place don't know what the meaning of thespian is.
Yeah, but I mean, see, it's also because I was in drama.
But, but no, that's the problem. You have okay. Trust me. One day we will trade places, and you can live my life, and you can talk to people who think that they want to be actors, and they will talk to you in a way that they will never understand what thespian is ever.
Yeah, but
But
trust me,
okay.
they'll succeed. It works in the industry. That's what works. I mean,
If you say so, but to be honest, I think that you sort of came to Chennai and then the lockdown happened. So once everything balances out, we can really talk about the balance.
and things were actually looking up. I mean, so but anyway, that's for the future. When that works, it works.
That when it works, it works. But I do want to ask you, and this is something that we weren't able to really finish last time, which is about how between acting, like how you're balancing your acting passion as well as your law career, and kind of maybe segue into if they both do have commonalities, and if they do, how that works for you and how you kind of use it to your advantage.
So the last time we spoke, I think we spoke about my 3-year rule, right? That I gave myself.
Yes, we did.
Yes, so that's officially come to an end. So I'm going to be, I think at least now I'm going to be putting both legs into law for the time being. And keep my eyes open and ears open for acting. I mean, if that works, it works. I'm going to grab every opportunity by its collar. But at the same time, I think it's time I started properly diving into this well.
But let me tell you, I feel Chennai has a huge dearth of I wouldn't say good lawyers, but I think that lawyers who can interface with a certain part of society. You know what I'm saying? Like Like people think that going to court is usually if you're in trouble. You know what I'm saying? But there are many reasons for using a lawyer. Like for
But
example,
I think we need more lawyers in India, especially, or even in Chennai for that matter, who advise people to stop going to court. Honestly, the court honestly has too many cases already going on. They have a backlog of too many cases. So if you have a lawyer advise you before a conflict gets too bad, you can
Yeah.
actually avoid that whole scenario and get this thing solved much ahead. I think that's what we need. I think we need lawyers who advise people to not go to court and to solve things outside of court.
So you would say
Settle it yourself.
settle. So you would settle, right? So
Yeah.
in fact, that brings me to a very interesting question. And I know we may not have discussed this yet, but did you have a specialty in mind in terms of law yet?
See, I'll tell you, when I passed out a law, I wanted to be an actor I mean, there's nothing else I had running in my mind. But now things have changed. For a very long period of time, I was looking into environment law, because I thought that that's going to be something that it's not just going to be for my own selfish needs, that it's so I've been saying this for a very long time, and I've been saying this to a lot of people. I say, our generation, if we have kids and if we don't do anything about the environment, that's probably the biggest sin we can do. We're cursing that child, because they will not enjoy their childhood or live a life like we have. It's going to be a struggle, and we can actively fix that. And if we don't do it, and we have kids just for our own sake, oh, we want to have kids, we want to feel like parents, I think that's one of the worst things we can do. So if me going into environmental law can help, or just, I don't know, even if it can just help one person to have a better future, one child to have a better future, I think that's something I would want to do. And even if I do, like, even if I become an actor or whatever, and if I have some sort of power, that's the side I will be going into.
Sure, sure. Now, while I would love to give you a compliment on your empathy, I want to ask a slightly more driving question about environmental law, because that means you're going to Sumit Mehta. We hear you. Is that
Yeah,
Sumit
thank you so
Mehta?
much.
Yeah. No, he's right. So, but you do know that. Okay, so environmental. So, I mean, I guess we're going to be going against corporate garbage, corporate pollution. Are we touching those? Would that mean you would go up in arms against that? Because that's that's a challenging space to get into. I mean, I know you're not somebody who backs down from a fight, but I just wanted to ask, is that what we're talking about?
If I could learn, I would. Honestly, I'm at the stage in which I can't do anything. If I do go against a corporate giant, they'll book my ass. So I want to be able to join somebody who will teach me how I can give them an ass whooping. That's what I think I am more inclined to do right now. And I think that's this year I am going to be concentrating on that, on learning how I can be a good lawyer. I mean, I have all the theoretical knowledge, but the reason I didn't go into practice is because theoretical knowledge is absolute hogwash in practice. So
No, I
that's a
think in
complete.
terms of delivering, I think in terms of, I mean, I'm not, I don't have any legal background, but I think in terms of delivering a message, or in terms of like convincing somebody, or building a consensus, I think you have all of those skill sets. So, which is why I kind of wanted to ask you about, because environmental law is very interesting, because I mean, I've seen it, it's obviously, I lived 10 and a half, 11, almost 11 years in the US. So like, I've been, and so my formative years, college, undergrad, postgrad, all of that was there. So I've seen a lot of like, my friends get into that kind of law, and it's a very, I mean, obviously it's a different country, but like, I mean, I know that they end up eventually coming up against the corporates, because those are the guys who are creating, all of the sort
Yeah,
of the
so
future that
there
your
was really
kids.
good news now. If you've been like following the news, Shell got fined,
Oh,
and
really? I don't tell me all about it. I have actually no idea what's going on.
so Shell got fined, and they've been told. So they've been said that they have to reduce their carbon emissions by 40% by next year. If not, they're going to be
Wow.
serious actions taken. Now, Shell has gone on appeal. Appeal has been rejected, apparently. So far, I've read. But that's a really big thing. So this is the first time we're having the courts go against a very big company, directly blaming them for climate change.
And this happened. This is in our country, or this is
No,
a
no, no. This is
global thing,
happening
or?
I think it happened in Netherlands, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, the
Maybe
Scandinavian
right.
countries actually are very, 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 very particular in terms of, I mean, if you look at they have like pretty much no, what do you call, their crime rates are very low, their unemployment is almost nil, they have the high,
Yeah.
their life expectancy is very high. So those are some of the countries where, the government tends
But I
to
tell you
take
something
care of
really
things.
weird about Netherlands. I mean, it's not weird. I want to have your
Please.
views about it. What do you think about euthanasia?
I think that it should be. This is actually a very, very, very good question, and I think that I think you asked the right person, not to be morbid, but I think yes, it should be allowed.
right? So
Yeah.
Netherlands actually has active euthanasia.
Yeah, yeah, definitely the right place to move if something really
Because
bad
I expected, I
is
thought I'm
going
going
to
to give a whole explanation, and then you just said yeah. I'm like, okay. Now I
Did
had
you
this
not
whole thing
expect me to?
prepared.
Oh wow. Okay, so we have more to discover about each other. Yeah, no, no, totally. I believe I'm for it.
Yeah, so Netherlands is a country that progressive. I mean, I think if you're that progressive, you really won't have that many crime rates. You'll have people happily living, you know. I mean, they're just like, if you want to do, you can go to dude. I mean,
I mean, I think it also a lot of it has to do with their tax system, and while their taxes are higher than 50%, so obviously, they make sure to. Oh, this is interesting. This you would like to know about the Netherlands. Okay, now this is going to sound like a bit odd, but it actually makes sense in the larger scheme of things. So the government actually pays for disabled people, people who don't have limbs or who are paralyzed and whatever, to actually visit with sex workers to get that need fulfilled. The government actually pays for that, so it actually avoids violence and kind of repressed activity and
see, it's
behavior
a
from a larger perspective.
yeah, because the government recognizes it as a human need, which it is, like hunger or thirst or breath, anything much like that. It's not something that is, the media has made that it seems something very dirty, something very it's not that. It's actually it's a basic human need. Everybody requires it, no matter who they are,
Yeah.
what state they are in. It's a beautiful thing, actually. That's I didn't know that about
That's
the government. I mean, I
very,
knew that
yeah.
prostitution is legal there, but I didn't know that they did this. That's fantastic.
And they did, yeah, they actually like pay for these people to, because so that is the extent to which human life is like, appreciated, which comes back to your Shell point, that it makes sense that they were motivated to actually go ahead and do that so they could provide a better future. Would that be, is that the, okay, so which brings me to my next question. What do you think of Greta Thunberg? Come on.
Yeah,
Come
yeah, I
on.
mean, we're on this is public, so she's good.
So, oh, okay. So we're going to, okay, Time Person of the Year, but okay,
No, no. See, the
is there a
thing
way
is,
you
honestly, when she
could you share a watered down opinion?
see, I definitely share her opinion. Okay, so the thing is, I think it just became a little over dramatic after a point. I mean, now
Why?
she's an influencer, dude.
Yes. Why
Ketan
is
Shah.
Ketan? Why is he saying how dare you? Hi,
See,
Ketan.
I
How
agree
dare
with that.
you?
Okay, see, that's what I'm saying. When that came out, she came out with one purpose, and that was fantastic. That really moved the world. But I think it's becoming a little over dramatic right now. That's just my personal opinion. I mean, I hope nobody puts me on the.
Nobody will. I do think that there is. Okay, so here's my. I think the work that what she stands for is impressive. And while I won't say I'm not an environmentalist, but I won't say that it's something that I've ever really been passionate about. Maybe that has to do with the fact that I'm not really keen on having children. So it's not that, oh, I don't care about the future generations. I guess that I haven't really thought about it in that way. But I do admire the fact that it's coming up a lot, especially in India, when more basic needs have been the need of the hour, and so no one has ever really talked about the environment. But now the younger generation is doing so. But I kind of my only two issues with her is sometimes I wonder if her parents are sort of like influencing the drama levels and the positioning, and is
See,
there any
I mean,
puppeteering going on?
you and I both know how the media works. Okay, if somebody is on camera saying something, it's never just that person. There is a whole team. If somebody is that big running if on anything on any platform, it's not just that person. There's a whole team doing it. There are a lot of people putting their minds to it and working on whatever that is. So it just, when everybody keeps saying, is that one person, it isn't, maybe what she said that speech there, yeah, fine. Maybe she wrote it, maybe she didn't. But yeah, the delivery, all of that, fantastic. It really moved. It served its purpose. But beyond that, what is happening now? I mean, she gets to
Yeah,
have an opinion about Indian politics and every other country's
yeah,
politics and all of that. It's just, I think you should stick to what your purpose is, right? And if
correct.
you're doing that, it's because you are trying to attract a crowd, and that's what an influencer does.
Right, right. I also, given that I have, strong opinions about why, I mean, like, while I'm not a I'm an advocate for identity and, sort of embracing your identity and your true self and, all of that in a larger sense. But obviously, the core of that is obviously mental health, self-acceptance, and, self-esteem.
Absolutely.
So my bigger problem with her is that that they say that she's on the autistic spectrum or Asperger's syndrome or something. I'm not sure what the exact condition is, but I don't understand how that is brought into the narrative.
That's
And
not
I
relative.
don't know.
I mean, relevant at all.
Relevant, yeah. It is constantly brought into the. And the thing is, I understand and I recognize physical and mental disability, and I believe that people should have equal rights, and but I don't think it should be used as a tool for it just
Yeah,
to
I think
make
that's
your
just absolute
opinion.
nonsense.
Yeah,
She's
just
a
make your
genius. Whatever
opinion.
said and done, she has a point, and none of us had the guts to do what she did. Whatever said and done, what she did was a fantastic thing, and what she said has it has a point that all of us have to note. That is the state of the future, and she asked the right questions. I am, if somebody brings up that argument, it's because they have nothing to say against her. So, it's to make somebody feel small.
Can you quickly respond on Ketan's point, something about the Air Quality Management Act? She on her remaining silent on that, and then we can answer that. We can get your opinion on that, and then move on. Did you read that? Where he says, okay,
Yeah.
shall I read it to you?
No, she remains silent on the air quality management being repealed in Delhi. Yeah, well, she doesn't care, right? I mean, that's not what makes news.
Didn't she say something about farmers? Wasn't there some farmers?
Yeah, so that's the.
What was that?
It was the farmers' protest and the elections that were the topic, apparently, which somehow relates to climate change, which I don't know how.
It doesn't.
Yeah, apparently it does. I mean, if she said it, that's what the world thinks.
Yeah, that's true. And I wish her lots of luck on her watch on the ship or whatever, and however long it takes to get to wherever in a boat. She goes to places in boats, right? And doesn't get on planes.
Yeah, I mean, now it's all photographs and it's all modeling and stuff. Time magazine.
Yeah, no, I agree.
See,
And anyway,
you became the very thing you were trying to defeat.
I mean, Donald Trump was on the cover of Time magazine. She was on the cover of Time magazine. We will park that there, and because you and I want to stay on the up and up here. So okay, so improv. Now, first of all, I don't know much about it. So do you want to tell me about it and tell me how what your experience with it is, and how we kind of go from here?
Okay, see, I have two ideas. Okay, I have two characters in mind, and both of these characters are somebody that they really influenced me as an actor and as a person. One is that, I mean, I'm sure everybody knows the Joker, and the next
I loved
is
it the last time. I was just like so into it. I was telling I have a few of my friends are actors. I was like, dude, you should see this guy. And
okay.
in fact,
So
I sent the link. Yeah,
what I'm going to do now, you probably wouldn't have seen before, okay? Because I'm pulling this out of a comic book and which was made into an animated movie later on. But I love his dialogue, so it's a very you'll understand why the Joker is the Joker. It's deep,
Okay.
it's dark, and okay. So I'll give you the backdrop of this. Okay, so this it's called The Killing Joke. This particular comic. I mean, what the dialogue that I'm going to say. So he says it's the Killing Joke because you really don't know the end. Okay, and this is one story which gives one origin story of the Joker. Like nobody really knows who the Joker is. So this story this comic book gives out a story about the Batman, and he have some sort of interaction, and he kicks him into and the Joker falls into a pit of chemicals, and he comes out mentally super sane and with green hair and pale skin and all of that. Doesn't remember who he is, blah blah blah. But throughout the whole thing. So what we realize by the end of the comic is whatever origin story he said, he just finishes that story and says, or maybe I remember it wrong. Okay, so you don't know. So that's the Killing Joke. And the Batman, you really don't know and when he says that, he says this joke, okay, he says, I really don't remember it well, but let me just see. He says there are two prisoners. They try to escape they're going to escape. Okay, actually, I don't remember. I'll save you later. But let me just go back to what I was going to do.
Okay.
Okay, so now what he does is in this scene he shoots the spine of the inspector of police. He shoots the spine of the daughter of the inspector of police, and then takes graphic photographs of her and sends it to the inspector and lures him to a trap.
Okay.
puts him in the trap there in order to drive him mad. Inspector Gordon, in order to drive Inspector Gordon mad, the Joker does all of this. And when he's saying this, he has a dialogue. So the chief the Inspector Gordon is going in a roller coaster. Throughout the roller coaster are photos of his daughter bleeding and semi-naked and stuff like that, and the Joker there. It's really dark.
Love it.
And
Okay.
this is the Joker trying to drive Gordon mad. So the music and everything in that cave is very hallucinatory, and he's going crazy. And after he sees all of this, the Joker tells him this dialogue. He says, memories can be vile. What is it? Okay, 1 minute.
No problem. You can start over. Oh, yeah. So, I don't know. I lost you for a second there. Yeah. Go ahead.
See me now?
Yeah.
He says, memories can be vile, repulsive little brutes, like children, I suppose. But can we live without them? Memories are what our reason's based upon. To not face them is to deny reason itself. Although, why not? You're not contractually tied to rationality. There is no sanity clause. So when you find yourself locked down that disturbing road, remember, there's always madness. You can step back, close the door, and when those voices disturb you, you can always lock the door, step outside, because madness, madness is the emergency exit. Yeah, so that's what he says. I mean, I actually messed up the dialogue a little bit because I missed a few dialogues here and there, a few lines, because I got really too into character. But,
Oh my God.
but that's what it does. I mean, he loses it.
Our audience is going mad. Wow. Wow.
Okay,
You
so
really are
the next
something else.
character. The next character. So this is the thing about improv. Okay, so improv, you should be able to step in and step out. All right, and that's what most people struggle with. I mean, they're not. I mean, I kind of struggle with that too sometimes when I'm like, I mean, when I'm trying to remember dialogues. More importantly, if it's not something that's in flow, then I go back to Rudveer and then to Karen because I'm trying to remember the dialogue. That's what shouldn't happen. So that's what improv does is like, if you forget the dialogue, don't try to remember it. You remember how he felt, go ahead with it. Add in your own words. Become that character, you know. Like that's what actors like Heath Ledger and Christian Bale, and you know that's what they do. They sometimes go off script in order to give, because you really sometimes you'll forget the lines because you're so into character. You feel what they're feeling and you want to say what they are feeling, not what's written. You know, so I think that's what improv gets us into, you know.
Yeah,
See, but
no, this is amazing. I'm just like blown away. Is there YouTube available of any of this stuff or what?
No, I haven't yet started. I'm going to, so that's why I've moved in now. So it's yet to begin.
No, I mean that's amazing. It's just phenomenal acting. Like I mean whatever happens, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes, and this reminds me of a Jay-Z dialogue where they say, I think Jay-Z is the one who says, love the process and not the result. And when you fall in love with the process, I mean, and then you will be, you are excellence as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't matter
Thank
if you
you
end up
so much.
because it doesn't matter if you end up on a screen or not. I mean, I really, it doesn't, it's irrelevant because like what you have really is something. And people should see it. So whenever you're ready, like do.
So that's what I decided. I have told myself as well. Like I'm not going to do it anymore for the industry. I'm just going to do it for myself. So I'm writing a script right now. That's also pretty dark. We'll talk about that maybe. I haven't yet gotten a copyright, so someone would steal it. But
no, I think we already have an episode 3 because as you know, in August I'm moving to the US, which means you have a home in Philadelphia, which makes you 45 which makes us 45 minutes from New York City. So you can, if you decide to come and embrace that part of the world and that kind of acting, then you're welcome to come stay with me, go to New York, like
100%.
make it on the, I mean, maybe Broadway is the thing. I don't know. You know what I'm saying from what I just
You know,
saw.
if I can make it to Broadway, I mean, think about that. That's probably the greatest achievement for an actor. I'm not, I mean, for whoever you are,
That's what
whichever
it
field
is.
you are.
Because the skills that you're showing me, I haven't seen this in like, you know what I'm saying? Locally, what is asked is very different.
Thank you.
Nobody asks for this. They say,
Yeah, I
"Vasu
mean,
Kocho or dance aadu." Okay, like you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah, that's what, honestly,
so I'm just saying, like I would,
thanks,
you have
guys.
an open
Thank you,
invitation,
Nati.
and because I have a lot of friends who came from this part of the world, because they loved that kind of acting. They were into, theater and the character and acting for the sake of acting. So they found a lot more passion and love and kindred spirits in that part, especially in New York and stuff like that, where
Absolutely, I mean,
people who decide not to go to LA. You know what I'm saying? Because they have their own split over there.
yeah, but
There's,
even for people in Hollywood, their respect for people in Broadway is off the chart. They, see, they believe they are
there.
actors, you know. They believe they're on-screen actors and they believe they're actors, you know, right?
Yeah, no. In fact, even as a speaker, I find, like, to come back to your whole point on remembering the script. Like, there are sometimes that I feel like I'm very forced to stay on script, and then at that time, and those times, I'm not able to relive. It definitely forms a barrier for me to relive, like, because people want me to go back there, to the times when I was in the hospital, or like, the depths of despair. Otherwise, I can give you a polished version of who I am today, which is, after years of, like, falling down and getting back up. But
All of
like,
that makes you who you are, and I think it's incredible.
but I definitely prefer speeches where I can just flow, and it's not, some clock is not like ticking in my face.
Yeah,
But
right.
it's yeah. So what was the next character? I'm like so okay. This, why I'm happy? I get the copy of this version. I'm like the first one who gets to release it.
Yeah, Joe. Okay, so you've seen Matrix, right?
I have, but I will be honest, I saw it a long time ago, so I'm not, and I
Thank God you
need to.
said yes, though.
Yeah. No, the answer is not no.
Okay, so this one dialogue kind of summarizes the entire plot of the Matrix. I mean, this one scene. It's the very end in Matrix Revolutions, the last of the trilogy. And at the very end, there is this Agent Smith. He is the virus in the Matrix. And then there is Neo, Keanu Reeves, right? I mean, there's Hugo Weaving and then there's Keanu Reeves. And so the Hugo Weaving has taken over the entire Matrix. Agent Smith has taken over the entire Matrix. He is the only person there now. He's a virus that has contaminated everything. And then there is only one other user or one other, I don't know what you call, whatever it is in the Matrix. And that is Neo. That is Keanu Reeves. And they have this intense fight. They're going, buildings are cracking and everything. They're going in the sky and fighting. They're flying. All kinds of punches are flowing and everything. And Agent Smith is whooping his ass. Keanu Reeves is getting beat to shit. Neo's like, and then he keeps standing up and keeps getting up. And just one time they have this mad fight in the sky. Agent Smith whacks him down. This guy comes down. The road is broken. He's lying there, Neo. And this is the dialogue that he says. Agent Smith he says, why, Mr. Anderson? Why get up? Why do you do it? Do you believe you're fighting for something? For more than your survival? Can you tell me what it is? Do you even know? Is it freedom? Or truth? Perhaps peace? Could it be love? Illusions, Mr. Anderson. Vagaries of perception. Temporary constructs of a feeble human mind trying desperately to justify an existence that is without meaning or purpose. And all of it as artificial as the Matrix itself. Although, only a human mind can invent something as insipid as love. And then, so when he's saying this, Neo starts getting up. Okay, and he says, you must see it, Mr. Anderson. You must know it by now. You can't win. It's pointless to keep fighting. And Neo gets up. Okay, and he gets up and he gets into the fighting stance. And Agent Smith, he's an AI. He's a virus in the Matrix, and he's just not able to understand. He's like, why, Mr. Anderson? Why do you persist? And Neo just goes, because I choose to. And this guy goes bonkers. He's like, I just lost my shit here. And you're like, I choose to. And he goes straight at him and he goes boom, 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 start beating him. And then suddenly, through him, the Oracle says, everything that has a beginning has an end. And then Neo simply realizes that he is not the one. It is the virus. The virus has to take over him in order for the Matrix to start all over again. So good, in this good versus bad scenario, bad has to overcome good in order for the Matrix to survive. He is actually not bad. We got the story all wrong. They're both the same, just flip sides of the coin, and they both have to destroy each other. That concept blew my mind. And his emotion is...
Oh my God. That is, and the thing is, you actually have chosen, because I'm seeing a pattern in your choices of the characters as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're asking a lot of existential questions. Like,
yeah,
I'm there with you. Trust me. Like, sometimes all of us stay busy so we avoid these questions. But I mean,
I honestly don't think we should. So I don't have an existential crisis anymore. When I realized my very purpose of existence is to be. There's this very beautiful concept that I was told, and after that, everything changed. It said that I am the universe experiencing itself, marveling at itself. So when my dad has this in one of his books, he says, when you are looking at a blade of grass and you're thinking, wow, it's beautiful, or you're looking at a flower, you're looking at a flower petal and you're wondering, wow, it's beautiful. The flower petal is the universe and is looking through you at itself. And it's thinking to itself, wow, it's beautiful. And you know how important that makes you just by simply existing, just by looking, just by living and experiencing life. It makes you so important because the universe and whatever you are experiencing is experiencing itself. I am looking at this lamp and this lamp is looking at itself and wow, it's a beautiful lamp. And that concept blew my mind. Like I am a conduit of the universe. I mean, after that, whether I want to be a businessman or whether I have money or not, it really doesn't make. So if I die, it's because my purpose for the universe is fulfilled. In order for it to survive and it to keep going on, I have to, energy is neither created nor destroyed. It is simply transformed, right? And it is simply transferred.
Right,
so I become something else for it to keep spinning, for it to keep going on. That's why I never really die. I just merely lose this form. It's, your purpose.
Which book is this from? Do you know? Do you remember? You said it was from your dad.
This is in my dad's book, which isn't out yet.
He wrote this?
Yeah, he wrote this.
Oh my God, why is your father not on this Instagram live with me right now? I mean, I love you and all that, but where is he?
No, trust me, if he's on, he'll steal my thunder in a second.
Oh, okay. You know that what I'm going to ask then. Please make the introduction and do whatever is needed. He sounds like, he wrote this? I thought you said, oh, this is from my father's book collection or something like that.
No, he wrote this. He wrote this when he was, he was at the point doing a lot of quantum physics research because his book required a lot of quantum physics. So, so because it was interplanetary and a lot of interstellar travel and all of that. So anyway, let me not spoil anything for.
Wait, he's not a lawyer, is it?
He is.
You do know that this is not making sense, not right now.
He is a lawyer and
he's a lawyer and a physicist.
And see, he's not just written. So his last book was a crime thriller, and it was a best-selling book, Fear of God. So. His book before that was based on quantum physics, Agnipath. and
Okay.
his first book. So the what I'm talking about is his original sequel for the first book, which originally published. Which I mean, it's all going to make it's all going to come back soon. Things are working
Wow.
out. I can't really reveal
Wow.
anything until out
Yeah,
to.
I mean, no, he sounds like something, and I will separately speak to him, separately chase him, separately. He sounds like a very, very interesting person. My God, why did I not know this already? But yeah, no, of course, can't steal your thunder by in any way, shape, or
No,
form.
but if
But
he does, I have no problem. I mean, I'm his son at the end of the day. I'll steal it
well,
right back from him.
steal it right back. No, I think it's like it just sort of gives me an opportunity because I'm very close with my dad as well, and I feel like our energy is
My dad's my
constantly
best
like
friend.
it's just mine is my best friend and arch nemesis. So yes, so I think my dad and my relationship we are so like intertwined that we're like the same, but we
Yeah,
need
I
to
was just gonna
exist.
say that you're probably the same people, just like like.
Yeah, so we need to exist apart so we can exist together. So you know what I'm saying? Otherwise,
That's like
so
my mom and I. We're like glue. We're like glue, but we're together. We'll just. It's the same thing, She'll be saying the same thing. I'll be saying the same thing, and we'll be like, but I'm right. It's just it gets sometimes. So when we're away, my God, my mom and I are closer now than we ever were before.
yeah. So I think
My dad said
it's
something
very
again. He says familiarity causes adversity.
he's on this call.
No, what?
What did you say? What
I
you
said my
said
dad
familiar.
said something. He said something once. He said familiarity causes adversity.
Adversity. No, it can. I think that just because this is kind of a moment where I wanted to because my dad and I always say one thing like trauma, right? It doesn't affect necessarily just the person who physically goes through it. It also affects other people who are like involved. And after immediately after my car accident, my dad and I left India together and went into the unknown to the US for my set of series of surgeries and stuff. And I don't think that anybody ever stopped to think about what that must have felt like for him to
I know.
every
As a
time
parent.
let me go and just sign the paper saying if she doesn't come out like at
Oh my God. I
initially
mean,
if she doesn't come out, it's
that's
not on
actually very
anyone.
traumatizing.
So, I mean, like I signed it for myself after that, but like I think the first time he did. So, and I think that like, especially for a parent who is used to, and our parents have, especially they're successful, they've done well, they've seen the world, as in, whatever work they've put in, they've seen the fruits of it. So it's not, it's not a world that doesn't make sense. But the minute this happened, the world stopped making sense, not just for me, but I'm sure for him and for all of us.
Yeah, I mean,
So he can
for
do
that kid, I mean,
everything.
it changes everything for them. I mean, we can't really understand it from that perspective, even if we try as much as because I don't know what it is. There's this saying, that you can't really share the same bond your parent shares with you. Like you can love them all, like with your entire heart, but you will never love them as much as they love you. And I don't think,
I do. Sorry,
you
go
know,
ahead.
I said like, there's this saying that, like you can love your parents with all your heart, but you may never love them as much as they love you. That's the kind of love you'll never probably understand unless probably they say you have a kid, until you have a child or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the kind of relentless love that I've experienced, and the reason I say him is because we were together in it alone. Like my mom was hurt in the accident, so I didn't see her for 2 years. So my dad was the one who
They're,
came,
they're
left
all
me at the hospital. Yeah, no, he actually wasn't, but I mean, he tried as much as he could because he had to keep coming back to India because she was also hurt and in the hospital here. So I mean, I call him when I say I feel like Atlas, I call because I know that he really is the Atlas because I can't imagine holding the world up for so long till
my God.
and running a business and the two
And
women, the
standing
only two women.
strong. I mean, you would never have heard him once say, "I'm getting anxious or I feel depressed," right?
I've only seen him. What do you call? I remember when I was in the hospital. The thing is, he found there was this Italian restaurant. We were the only two. This is what I remember from the ICU. Okay, he used to order food, this pizza from this place called Pompeii, and I used to eat like a really
Yeah.
small piece because like I could really not eat much at that time. But you know, he used to order this huge pizza. I don't know where that pizza used to go, but he used to make such a show of it and be like, we're gonna order pizza today, and you know, so it's just
So that you would
amazing
never
how
feel
he
down,
did.
right?
It's you know, whenever he was there, I think that's what he's tried to do. And when people ask me why I am strong or whatever, is because I can never let him know that I'm not okay. So
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know,
the
so
pillar
we
stands on
both
the
do that.
foundation, right? You're the foundation.
So we both do that for each other. So it's very electric. So you know, people who know both of us are just like, you know, you both you know, you're both just the same. But I think we're both like a lot. So I think we are good like apart and together in doses. But with that, let's start taking a few questions. Rudvir, with you, it's like time. I never even notice where the time goes.
That's a good
And
thing.
but it's a
That
good
means
thing,
having
and
a
we
good time.
have to. And it also means I haven't been able to go through half the stuff that we planned to talk about. So which was the case last time as well. So you know, okay. By
Episode
the way,
3.
tell me, you're proud of the poster that I made. I made it.
I am
Okay.
really super proud of you. I mean, entirely made by you in I mean, so quick. What in a span of hardly, and then even the correction. I mean, the correction happened in less than what, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes?
Yeah, no, because I realized I had made more than one mistake. So we're not going to say what that is. I'm sure you noticed it, but you are such a darling. You didn't mention it to me. And I was like, did he really think that I would go? Because if somebody had done that, for example, and I was on the receiving end of such an error, I would have made it known.
I mean, it's not a link per se, so it's okay. I mean,
So
we put up enough links on our stories and our posts, so it really makes no difference.
I know, but no, actually, more than even the correction. Though the minute you said so, it was already made. So that was while I was a drama queen about getting credit for that. It was actually this is the first time I made something
Yeah,
to
that was
stand
actually
on my
really well
own.
done. It didn't seem like, it was your first time. It seemed like as if
It
you've been
was
doing this for a while.
no, it was my first time because you know, post second wave of COVID, I just didn't. You know, you can't earlier this thing keeping a team and all made sense. Now I'm just like, you know what, Anjali, you have to learn to be self-sufficient at some point, and soon
That's what
enough
I'm
I'm
doing.
going to be. You are, and I am very, very proud because like in a couple of months I'm going to be back in the wild in maybe my favorite part of the world, but it's going to be a very different life, you know. Being corporate,
Yeah,
you
it's
get a
probably
lot
the
of
most civilized
support
part of the
system.
world. You can't call wild.
It's just
You're
wild
in the
in the
wild
sense
here.
actually, you know, see, the thing is, but when you have a corporate job and whatever, there are systems in place to take care of the things that, you know, you don't really have to sweat. So, you know, even when it comes to something small like making a creative, like when I'm at work or when I have a team involved, I just have to tell them and then
And
not
they
do
get it
it.
done, yeah.
Whereas this particular creative of ours, I took like
But are you
a
excited?
good amount of time. A little bit, yes. Excited about going, I'm thrilled because you know, Rudhir, I'm one of those hardcore type A ambitious people who my thirst for knowledge has never been quenched, and that's what's taken me from city to city, and you know, from
Country to
one
country,
career
continent to
and then
continent.
something to another, and you know, from one kind of pivoting from one career to something that you know sort of kept driving me. And somehow I felt like maybe when we entered into lockdown in the early part of 2020, and maybe when I had my last surgery in 2019, I felt like I'd hit a ceiling and I felt like my next calling had come, but I didn't know what that was. And when I
Yeah,
see
I
whether it's
understand that you hit a threshold.
and that's happened to me before, but you know, when it happens to you later in life, I mean, you know, while I'm not ageist and all that, it's more complex, you know, because you're not in
Yeah,
college and you're not just trying to find another bachelor's degree. So but when I meet and connect with my Wharton classmates, you should see it's like talking to a bunch of other Anjalis, okay? They are awake okay, you get messages around the clock, nobody sleeps, everybody is wanting to save the world or the business or cryptocurrency or investment banking or venture cap and you know, everyone is so extra about everything, and I
You
feel
just feel like
totally
you fit
normal.
right in there, right?
I fit right in. You know, I kept saying I haven't found my tribe. I feel out of, you know, sync with my surroundings.
Yeah, see, that's what it is.
Everything.
You search until you discover your kind,
I did.
Like,
So, you know, it's
Yeah.
like, in fact, I was just, I was in the middle of getting ready, and I had to be ready for you, of course. So I was on a call with one of my classmates who is from McKinsey. She's actually based, she was based in the US and recently came to Chennai after the COVID. So I was like, you're in Chennai? I didn't even know. So she's so,
What are
I
the
mean,
odds?
you know what I'm saying? And she was, the thing is, we were meeting for the first time. We had a 25-minute conversation and we just slipped into it. There was no need to explain who, what, why. I was like, why Wharton? I didn't have to tell her why Wharton. I was just like, it was for her, it was between Kellogg and Wharton. And for me, I had a full ride from Duke in UCLA as well, which wanted me a lot, but you know, Wharton is Wharton. So, and so we just a little bit of that, a little bit about housing, and then she is somebody who actually started she's a, what do you call, she's from, besides McKinsey, she started a mental health startup in 2016. So
Oh.
she was reaching out to me. Yeah, they're very they do multiple things. So for me, doing multiple things here seems a little bit like out of the ordinary, but like it is absolutely the norm for everybody in that
Yeah,
ecosystem.
absolutely. Even here, I mean, it's not normal now.
It's just I just find that, you know, like social impact plus revenue is now only starting to come together. So it's interesting to meet other people from India who are trying to, you know, make a difference in both parts of the world. Because I mean, doing a full-time job at McKinsey is hard enough as it is, not to come home and, you know, have to do something else. But the fact that, you know, she and other students are so passionate. In fact,
Yeah,
have
that's the
you
thing. If
watched?
you're passionate about it, it hardly feels like work.
Yeah, in fact, the Students Fighting COVID initiative that the new Wharton class is about, we actually got that singer Salim Suleiman. They're actually a brother duo. They're music directors. They actually got him to perform online, like last night,
For the
to raise money for COVID relief.
That's lovely.
Yeah, so they have done so much, and this is like a class which has not met each other. No?
That's to
We're on a
get that
WhatsApp
audience
group.
is not easy.
Yeah, and we're a WhatsApp group. We've not met each other at all. You know, so nobody knows anybody except for the WhatsApp group, LinkedIn group, Slack, and Wharton HQ.
I mean, in today's day and age, that's as good as getting to know each other.
That is very, very true. So we have lots of. I'm just going to quickly go through comments here and tell you who loves you. Ajit Bharadwaj loves you. No, he says. Ajit Bharadwaj asks, I have a question. How do you stay motivated for the longer goals, like working out for a body or becoming an actor? Would you like to answer that?
You have a very strict image of the future, and you have complete faith that you're going to reach there. That this is just the journey you're taking. The other day, I said I gave an analogy to a friend, and I was saying, you know, that we're all in the same train, and we're just walking past coaches, and it's a free-for-all train. I mean, you don't need to pay any tickets. We just have to make it to first class. So you just keep that image of first class in your mind, and you keep walking. You know, that's how you stay motivated. It's every day. Every day you walk past one coach. You know, you might just go one class after the other, and you won't even know, and suddenly one day you'll be there in the first class coach, and you'll be sitting there relaxed. That's the faith.
Yeah.
And you know, you must believe. You mustn't just think, okay, I hope I'll reach there. You must absolutely be that I will reach there. You believe it. You know, like it's every day you believe in everything that you do. You do one thing extra to reach there. You know, even if you do just one thing extra is enough. I have this bodybuilding motivation where I just go one rep more than yesterday, one set more than yesterday.
That mental thing that I've been seeing, I've been giving him. I'm assuming this person knows you, Ajit Bharadwaj. Do you know?
Yeah, very good friend.
Okay, so Mr. Bharadwaj, let me tell you, I have been privy to these animalistic instincts which are coming out on Rudvir's stories and posts and all that. I'm just like, you know, so today, so let me tell Mr. Ajit Bharadwaj what I did to point number 4 today. Okay, so he wanted to talk about fitness, and I told him that he had done enough of it on his handle, so we were going to talk about everything else. But if that is what everybody wants, then I say we make it part of episode 3. And you know what? And you can send me some sexy bodybuilding pictures, which I'll put into the poster. And I'll also have a week or two to. I did go to the gym. You did see, and you did say you were proud of me. So I'm trying.
I'm really proud of you keeping consistency. The point is that everybody gets the gym, but to be consistent, you know, I'll be your biggest hype master. I'm telling you. You just get there. You just go to the gym, and I'll make sure I motivate you to start
Okay,
doing.
let's start that. So let's do that. I will put every time I go. Okay, so I'll keep. Okay, so the whole goal will be to put one story out tagging you. Okay, so if that's
Yeah,
the
and
goal,
if you
that means
don't
I
put
have
it
to
up,
go
I'll
to the
put up a
gym.
story tagging you and shaming you, saying you didn't go to the gym. Shaming great
Love
puppy
it.
shame.
Love it. I freaking love it. Okay, this is a phenomenal plan. So we'll do that and we'll give it a couple of weeks, but we have to come back with episode 3 because I think this is way too exciting and I need to at least two more sets. Okay, because 2, even 3, if you can manage it. Because
As many as you want. You give me your number, and I'll keep them prepared.
it's just like I would no, because it's just amazing content. Like those 2 acts that you did.
You know what? I'll tell you
Like,
what. I'll put up a mono act the next time where I'll actually put up an entire scenario.
can we please do that? Because I mean, that's the part which I'm enthralled by. That's what everyone here is talking about. I mean, next time we'll skip Greta and go straight to that. Okay, and maybe some fitness as well. So you can send me some. Actually, I do have a lot of abs pictures and stuff, but give me some more options. I get more to look at. So
Yeah, definitely.
I'm very unabashedly appreciate eye candy. As long as it's not that horrible.
Yeah, very subtle.
Horrible.
You know, you're like.
Did I not say I said intellectual eye candy? Oh, by the way, I just
Thank you.
point to note.
You must emphasize that because I'm not just, all browns,
You are
no
not.
brains, as they say.
You are not. So tell me, have I spoken to any other actor on Insta Live yet?
No, I have not noticed that.
Yes, so that is because you are so far the only one, and that is out of choice because I can actually talk to you. Because I would like to see myself going past 10 minutes. With anyone else, it will be very difficult. So
Yeah, I
it's
mean, with
just
that, we can't seem to stop.
yeah, no. See, it's because there has to be a certain amount of awareness of the world and how things tie into. Because we're living in a very strange, interesting time where it's not just an outward journey; it's an inward journey as well. And and if you can still
More
have a
important.
conversation and not be bored, then you've found the right person to talk to. So
Yeah.
with that, I will love you and leave you. And guys, we will be back with episode 3 very, very soon. But till then, keep shaming me if I don't go to the gym, and I will make sure I do.
Yeah. Good night.
Okay, good night.
Good night, guys.